He turned on this camera with intent to speak, thinking it would make anything feel better. That is not what is happening. Yeah, moments of respite. It does get better because it gets better for a few seconds before shit hitting the fan again. I woke up at 9. It took me a few minutes to figure out if it was AM or PM. It's like 11:47 right now. It's something's different. I've had bones broken. Family telling me to kill myself. A stolen dog. And every flail at establishing meaning to the pain of going through all of this, just taking a shit on. The scary part is I'll live. I will live bedridden until they take my bed. And then I'll lay in the dirt. The dirt will be cold. I'll get up until the cold of the ground seems appealing. I'm gonna die. I've tried everything to make this not happen. At least not now. They took my dog. They took my dog. She told Simone told me to kill myself. Took my dog. demands an apology. Even if I do apologize, I can't. That leverage would have killed me. Mental health system took me, put me in a place with dying people and called it help. They put me in a box and called it help. They gave me meds and called it help. Gave up a long time ago. Well before anybody should have given up. You've been trying to find reasons not to care. I don't see them. I see everything in society being padlocked behind a gate in which to get in. You need to join in the crowd. It's a death cult. I don't care. I care. I see things. When I close my eyes, when they're open, I'm here, this world, but not. And I just live there now. Because the nightmare I live in my head is better than this one. All of my methodologies to stay out of a dissociative state have decreased in effectiveness over time. I was in expectation of help that was told to be given, but they were lying. We're filled in, this world's filled with people good at following orders. There's no initiative of self. This world's dying. This nation's dying. Jasper's gone. I can't do anything. There's people dying in the street. I'd rather join them than be part of the problem. They contribute to all this. At least I won't have to listen to this fridge for too much longer. Jesus Christ. I'll live, at least for the foreseeable few hours. I'll just fall asleep. Tomorrow I might have some fight in me, but it'll get tapped out relatively fast. Then I'll probably live. It's 12 a.m. So 26th. On this day, a year ago, I took 12 grams of Seroquel. They were my mom's. Everybody knew I was suicidal. Everybody in that house knew that large amounts of medicine was dangerous. I've had multiple overdoses off of psychiatrics. Everybody knew. 12 grams of it was left where they knew I would see it. As soon as I saw it, I started writing a note. I sent it over Discord, and then I took it. Sent out the note. My longest standing friend, Mike, called me as soon as I was shutting off my iPhone. I was physically in the process of shutting off my iPhone, but it wasn't the power slider that came up, it was a Discord call. I answered it. I heard how hurt he was. I can hurt myself, but not not Mike. Horrified me. I promised him I'd call 911. That's what I did. By the time I got into the ambulance, I was back. Gave me activated charcoal. I refused to drink it. EMS told me, "You won't die. You'll seize and you'll shit your pants." I figured good. I don't deserve to die. I just want to hurt myself. And that's what I did. Seizures galore and shitty pants. I had a breathing tube. And when I had the breathing tube, I figured out I was psychotic. As these voices that are normally just thoughts, long-winded, intrusive dialogues back and forth, hours. It turned into real, straight up hallucinations. I heard people I knew. I heard people I didn't know. I was saying shit. It sounded, from what I remember, from what little I remember, it seemed as if it was going on for prolonged. The hospital took care of my physical needs, but my mental state was just down the drain. A psychiatrist talked to me for like half hour, said I was fine, took the form off. These, and constant before, an eye over my shoulder. Constant was gone, and then they moved me rooms. There was a patient crane and a lifting belt. I slotted the lifting belt into the thing the crane rides on off the roof, and I was mocking myself. I asked to see a nurse. Instead, I waited 40 minutes outside that. I stayed alive, even though for the full 40 minutes I'd rather not be. And that's been pretty much the whole fucking year since. I don't want to be alive, but since I am, here I am. Um, I discharged myself against medical advice. I and practically had a back-to-back suicide attempt. Yeah, when I came home, it was pretty much immediate. They figured out I was home. Little sister slamming doors. They all know I hate slamming doors. Um, Things just ended really quickly. Sister came back home. She's just immediately abusive. I think she hurt herself hitting me. My bad. Uh, she said something along the lines of, tried to kill yourself so many times you can't even get it right. Do everybody a favor and do it. Just get it over with. And she claimed ownership of the dog that she fucked over and then left with me, the traumatized autist who's mostly lives in a dissociative state. The trauma bonded with the dog. I made a promise on my life to be in that dog's life. I promised my dog not to kill myself because I knew he wouldn't understand. All the people would understand, at least to an extent, not Marshall. He's just a dog. I promised to to come back. And I broke that promise because I was scared my sister would use the one thing I cared about as leverage over me to hurt me. She demanded an apology for things I've apologized profusely for in order to have the right to take my dog for a walk. I don't think this is anything now. My first suicide attempts were before I was 8. I still shared a room with my little sister. I ate packs of silica. It said do not eat, so I figured it would kill me. I spit them up. I picked them up off the carpet. I was a little kid. Things haven't gotten better. Fucked from the start. They took me. They put me in a school. They kept me in that school. Had a cell. Spent a lot of time in it. I was like 12, 11. Psychiatrist by Dr. Parsons in Edmonton ran the facility. By the time I was back in grade 12, people were dying. Were crazy. Yeah, crippling themselves with razor blades taken from the school pencil sharpener. To screaming. The nights where it's just ringing up and down the hallway. The nights when you realize this screaming is not normal. These are different types of screams. 14-year-old roommate. ECT treatment on Wednesdays. He couldn't walk, sometimes up until Tuesday. I met him again. Doesn't seem to go too well. The self-proclaimed Nazis with the BB gun. Yeah, it's great. And then what? Like what? I'm supposed to expect that this gets better? That my whole life, which was just perpetually keeping my head afloat above the water, is supposed to get better. Like, yeah, I could just shut the fuck up, stop complaining, and sign the papers, do what need be to keep in the house, but why would I? Why? What's here? What's the reason to keep going other than the threat of death? Threats don't motivate forever. I sit here, I lay here, immobile, perpetually frozen. I haven't eaten. I watch an end come with horror, but also an suppressed breath of relief. Because I never liked this. It wasn't about liking it, sure, but this was different. This isn't just not liking it, I'm actively being hurt on a daily basis. And I'm flailing to keep my head above the surface. And I see an end. I see that I'm about to lose my home. And I'm either choosing to do nothing about it or I can't do anything about it. I'm bedridden. I've been stuck in bed for days on end. At least the apartment isn't a sauna. It was 35 degrees in here at one point, and I was just in bed. I didn't do anything. Can you blame me for giving up? The voice, one of the dissociative identities, identified as a hurt child, was mauled to death by a dog. I had to watch it. It hasn't been talking much recently. In fact, I don't even think it's there. Or maybe it changed. I'm stuck in my head. It's a dissociative nightmare. Do you know what? I prefer it. Because what's the alternative? Do I go on the internet? Do I go inline skating, battling cars? Do I grasp at trying to get to the river valley? with multiple barriers between me and it. And the whole time I'm there with the idea that I need to leave back to this horrid. It, that's a tragedy of it, isn't it? Mm. Tragedy requires something good. There's been so much good in my life. I just want to be given the freedom to enjoy it without having all this bullshit. I'm not giving up yet. There's still some fight left in me, but as of the moment, I'm flat on my ass. There's not much fighting I can do. I'll see what I can do tomorrow. Today, when I have fight, I have found myself on my feet. Maybe I can do something. But I know full well I'll be knocked down again, and I'll have to get up again. But the question is, can I go through these cycles fast enough? Can I find myself to my feet after these beatdowns over and over again? Can I do that fast enough to secure shelter? It's not like I can call 911. They nearly kicked me out of the hospital on the other side of the city last time I did that. My doctor is not doing anything. Nothing's being done. I don't got help. It's been a year. I didn't get help. I got people attempting at help, but they need to help themselves first. Being able to integrate into society and success under that idea is not competence. It is almost the opposite of competence because it requires an established slave mentality. You just do what you are told, you don't complain, you do the bare minimum and you get by. You contribute to the problems in which keep people like me down. Is that how I'm supposed to succeed? To earn help is to contribute to the system in which has hurt me so much. The authority figures propped up. Anybody's an authority figure over me at this point. Jesus Christ. They're authority because they listen to orders. They're not actually authority. They're lower middle men. Soulless corporate drones. But they're not soulless, they're people. Slaves, just like the rest of us. They've effectively turned us against each other. Do you guys not realize what's going to happen? This nation is collapsing. The means in which we build our lives upon are not going to be given out. The gas will stop flowing. The electricity will stop flowing. The water will stop flowing. The foods will not be restocked at the markets. And what then? When the very foundation on which everybody's life is built upon is stripped out from under us. Will it be fast? Will it be slow? I don't know. It's been slow thus far, with moments of increased velocity downwards. I'm not the only one. That this wasn't my fault. Unless you want to blame some 8-year-old kid for trying to kill himself. I was set up to fail. I never had the choice. I was outcasted from the start. This was just inevitability. I'm gonna go homeless unless someone steps in, something steps in. But I've been trying to attain somebody stepping in for this whole time so I could be strong enough to deal with this on my own, but I didn't get that. I'm done. It's a 40-minute video. Done. Uh, I hope it's enough to get whatever's in my head out. I just fall asleep. Hopefully. Hopefully.